Is evil real? Well, when evil is perpetrated towards us, it hurts. It definitely feels very real. Whether it's someone hurting your feelings, said something that triggered you, that was really a nasty thing to say, which is evil, that we feel it. Or someone that perpetrated an act, took something of mine that belongs to me, misused it, whatever the case may be, acted with neglect, purposely not caring. That's not nice. You even could use the word evil. Now, when someone does something wrong, of course, it's for them to own it, that individual, and make good on whatever they need to make good. Absolutely. To the individual that you've hurt, to even God. That's the idea of tshuva, of penitence. But when it happens to me, or it's something of me, how am I supposed to look at it? Is it real? Is evil real? Or maybe it's not. Well, if it's not real, then what is it? And why would we say that it's not real when it definitely feels that way? Welcome to Tanya today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zechin Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and pleasure to share with you the Tanya. We conclude today chapter 29. Chapter 29 is a very challenging endeavor of the Beinoni, of the individual, has mastery over themselves, over their actions, every action, every word they say, and every willful thought. They have mastery, they have control over. And yet, they still struggle because they're not righteous. They still have in their heart, lurking in their heart, negativity, desiring things that are not to be desired, to have things that are not of a divine purpose. The Beinoni doesn't act upon it, but it's there. And the Beinoni wants to humble their negative spirit. And by the way, just a reminder, we are BITs, Beinoni in training. We're training to be masters over ourselves. Not to master over others, master over ourselves. So I have negativity inside of me. I have, negative thoughts, words that sometimes are negative words. And that would be called evil in the sense that they are klipa, they're a negative force. And a negative force is an evil force. Of course, there's levels in and what means evil. But the fact that it's not aligned with the divine, it's not a holy energy, that itself is. So how am I supposed to look at that inside of me? That power within me. So the truth is, any of that negativity of the Sitter Achar, of the Klipa, is really no substance at all. It's not a true reality. Ooh. Okay. Actually, it could be compared to darkness. And what's darkness? The absence of light. Because the moment you put on the light in a dark room, what happens to the darkness? It just disappears. So darkness doesn't have a true substance to it. It's there, you know, it's only there because there is no light. But once the light is brought in, the darkness is banished automatically, right? So it's similar, that's a metaphor with the Sitra Achra, with the Klipa, with the negative force. The negative force doesn't have a force of its own. It's a force of God. That God gives it its force. But that force is completely nullified from where it comes from, that negative force. God's positive force. God's light. That's where the darkness comes from. So when the light of God is shining, the negative force of Sitra Achra and Klipa just automatically negated, automatically dispersed, gone with. Wow. It's automatically nullified. Just as darkness is nullified by physical light when it enters a room, right? You go into a dark room, you put on the light switch, like it's just completely gone automatically. Because it really had no real substance to it, the darkness. Same thing as the darkness inside of me. It has no real substance to it. Remember, it's not its own, I'm saying this now parenthetically just to give us a perspective on this. There are those that believe, there's the Godhood, and then there's the Satan, and there's a battle between good and evil, light and darkness. No, there isn't a battle between them. That would mean idolatry, because that would mean that there's two different powers. The power of good, the power of light, versus the power of evil, the power of darkness. No. It all comes from God. It all comes from God's holiness, from God's infinite light. So the darkness even comes from there. So in the face of godliness, of God's light, darkness is no longer. Which means when we're aligned with the divine, with God's light, darkness inside of me is no longer. With this we can understand a very interesting episode. The Jewish people got a report of the land of Israel, the spies that went there, 12 spies that went there. They got a negative report, and they said, oh, we can't go up to the land. God can't conquer, right? It's not going to happen. And they cried. They said, no, well, we're not going to be able to take over the land. They're too strong. They're too powerful. We're not powerful enough to overtake them, to overrun them, to defeat the Canaanites in the land of Israel. And then all of a sudden, they changed their mind. They changed their mind. Why did they change their mind? Not because Moses showed the miracles, that, the miracles of God, that God can do it. He can do anything. He didn't do that. All he did was relate to the Jewish people that God was really upset with them. He was really upset with them. And that brought them, to break their negativity, and allow the positivity, the light to shine and banish the darkness just automatically. Just automatically. Because inside of the Jewish people is the fact that they believe. They're believers and descendants of believers. True believers. Except, sometimes a true believer means in a moment you could get caught in a dark moment. But once you put on the light, the darkness is removed, and you're back to your natural state of being as a real believer. That's what happened with the spies and with the Jewish people in that episode. Is they got a moment of darkness they allowed to ensue, and therefore, we can't do this. We can't overtake them. But once God got angry, which means they got angry at themselves when they understood, we went against God. We weren't true to God. We weren't there for him. um, and they crushed their inner being. The darkness was removed because they brought the light in. And automatically they came, oh, yeah, we're believers. We're believers. Again, not because miracles showed them to believe, but because their inner being is made up of a piece of God, that they're naturally believers. And therefore it can be covered over by darkness, but you remove the darkness, automatically you come back to your natural being of believers. Wow. Which is very powerful. And I conclude this chapter bringing from a parable that we've had before, that the king hires a harlot to seduce his son. Now, the harlot who knows the king's desire is not that the son should be seduced, but she has to do her job, right? So likewise, evil, which is the harlot, is hired by the king, which is God, to seduce me and you with that negativity inside of me, with my animal soul. Why? That I should overcome it. When I overcome that negativity and I bring the light of God into me, into my life, that's my accomplishment. That's um, my overcoming my inner darkness by introducing the light of my soul to push away that darkness. So the harlot, the darkness of my soul, of my animal soul, is there, so I should overcome it and recognize that it's only there. It's been given the power by the king to seduce, to try to stray me away from the path of light and to live in darkness. But as long as I know that that's not what I'm supposed to do, I'll be able to always have the light switch with me to push away any darkness that is ensuing me at any given time. And that's the end of chapter 29. All right, folks, it's not going to be Rambam today because I'm going to go back to the bar mitzvah. All right, thank you all for joining.